Hey all there, it's Sven, and in today's video I'm gonna be making some slate tools. So right here I'm in Bontddu in Wales, just by Dogellau, and there's this road here that is made up of a bunch of slate, and I'm going to gather a little bit of it. All of this is slate, but up a little ways I believe has some good stuff that isn't people's paving stones. Yeah, with any luck I'll be making that slate knife, maybe an Inuit style because they used a lot of slate for knives, and we'll see how it goes. That is all. A lot of blackberries here, good to eat. A lot of slate too. All right, so hereabouts is where I'm gonna take a little bit of slate if I can. I want to try and make a slate. I want to try to make a slate axe. And to do that, I need a chunk that's a little bigger than just what you'd find in the river. Those tend to be really thin. I don't need to make the slate axe very big. It's mainly decorative what I'm going to be making out of it. But this stuff up here is actually pretty strong, which is nice. So I'm going to find maybe a piece for a knife and a piece for an axe and move on and gather another good chunk from the river, which I tend to prefer working with. But I'll let you know when I find one. Well, as life would have it, this is what I managed to collect. Some bits of slate. I didn't end up getting to go to the river like I wanted to, but these should work. And I have this piece of sandstone, which I'll use to carve it down. I made a slate knife before using this purple plum slate, which is very common as a garden stone here in the UK. And I actually took a shower. Let's get it a bit wet with my hair maybe. It turns a really nice purple when wet. And then just tool, flint tool. But yeah, now I need to figure out which one of these I'm gonna start carving into a shape. So the beauty of slate is that if you have a piece that's too big, you can generally give it a few taps in the right spots and flake off the bits you don't need until you can get it very, very thin. This is thinner than I would have wanted to make it, so that sucks a bit, but you know, see what I have, pop it like that, and I get 2 small flakes. That can be made into something. Doesn't always break evenly, but no, it don't break even. But yeah, that's the idea. You can't really nap it in the same way that you can other stone, but you can break off pieces that you don't want if you know where to hit, and that was commonly done by the Inuits. I might use this piece even though it's a bit big. It seems to be cracking favorably grain wise for me to get some of these big things off. The Inuit would do this, a peck and grind technique with slate, like that. Get some of the large bits off that I don't want, because these actually turn out to be quite thin when you're done with them, ideally. And this has a lot of mass, but it doesn't take that long to carve it, so let's get to carving. Heyo there. So here's my piece of slate, piece of sandstone. what I'm going to try to do, which I've never actually really done, is split it. So what I'll do first, maybe hold it with my toes, find a spot like right here, maybe split it, make it thinner, I don't know, let's see. Hey, that worked all right. That worked quite all right. Now I'm going to hold it like this because I'm kind of afraid of snapping it again where I don't want it to. Or maybe I can continue on this way. Take off the rest. That's not looking as feasible. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do this. Keep it up here and then yeah. That didn't work quite how I wanted.
Alright, we're getting this throw it out. You want to scoop that out?
Yeah, you're fine, obviously. But it almost did. Take this and then take that off. There we go. Send a couple flakes through. Seems to be working quite all right. Chisel this bit off. Has a lot of length, so that's good. But now let's take this rough face and smooth it down. How quickly that can go. Almost there. Well, heck yeah. Can't get that side of it now. Keep at it. Alright, so just a little pan forward. I'm in the US now, back home. Unfortunately, my stay in the UK could not last forever, but this is what I ended up grinding it out to. This thin blade. And, I mean, it's not fully sharpened yet, but as you can see, it cuts. So, for stuff like fruits, you know, it works just fine. Meat, it would probably work fine too, but it's not going to be carving wood. It's too thin and brittle for that. But anyway, now my goal is to find some sort of pine or spruce to make the handle from. I'm going to try and go for a more traditional style handle and spruce roots to make the binding. See how that works. If not, I might use our sinew, actual sinew. So we'll just see how that all goes. I'm pretty happy with the blade. It doesn't have much of a point, but that's okay because honestly, points are useless on these. They're way too brittle. So it doesn't matter if it's not super pointy. And it's a little oblong, it's a little oddly shapen, but almost all of the originals are. So they wanted something functional. They didn't super always care if it was particularly properly even. But I'm pretty happy with it. And I mean, as you can see, it works. So, on to the next stage. Wapa. Well, up here is a spruce tree, I should say, outside my house. See if I can find a good stick to use for the handle of this thing. Alright, I think I chose one of a good size. Handle I'm going to make probably about this long. Oh, hi. Little pug.
Come on. Get over here, bro. Don't start. Let's go.
Little dog.
Come on. I'm not gonna shake.
Alright, so I did a crappy job at cutting this, but it's fine. I'm sure it'll still do fine in the end. Okay. Some bulk material removal. Definitely don't need this much on either side. About that much is maybe enough. All right. Now I'm going to carve in the little decorative stump point. There you go. Little point. Just like that. Clean up this edge a little bit. Just like that. Go down a little ways, maybe about here. It's a good solid spot. Mark it on both sides, just like that. Take my saw, go in just a little ways on all sides. as such. That should have a good stop point for where my knife will go to keep the sort of binding retention cord where it needs to be. I can adjust that area later, but for now I gotta keep carving. So I'm gonna do this before my camera dies. That's generally what I want. Generally. Still needs to be worked down a bit. Once this goes in, this is gonna need to be thinner up here, but you get the idea so far. Before that, I'm gonna cut down to the mark I made so I know where this is gonna sit inside the handle with a saw, which will look like that. Now that it's in there good ways, the only big thing to do is to taper this down a bit, make the handle a little bit more pretty, and then tie it. Maybe make this a little deeper so I can get more binding space. But to do this part, easy enough. Just carve this edge down smoothly. These edges, I should say. Oh, barely. Yeah, some of the rusticness is, you know, it's part of the appeal. Adjust these just a little bit. This handle is going to want to come down just a little bit. I already saw on this direction and this direction, just to expose a little bit more of the tang area. In this bottom section I'm going to need to clean out. But you want the stone to be sticking out past both ends on either side so that the binding is going to have something to bind to. There's a little crack there, but those are actually very common on originals anyway, so I'm not worried about it. The only thing I might do is take this down just a little bit, but I might not, doesn't matter. I think traditionally these were often bound only using friction. They didn't actually use any adhesives, so I'm going to gather some spruce roots now and see if I can do that. Well, look at that. Insect wing. Anyway, so I'm in my yard. There's a spruce tree. Here's a root. I'm just gonna dig and quickly find a spruce root. Right like this. And now the goal is to follow it as best I can without breaking it. Which isn't always so easy. Normally you shouldn't use a knife for digging, but you know. Here's another one. Guess it wouldn't be bad to have an extra in case this one breaks. More. Some spruce roots are really good string, and they're pretty easy to grab. I just don't want to dig up my yard too much. But my brother planted this tree a very long time ago. But anyways, I gotta get this out and preserve energy. Gonna get all these roots off with my thumbnail. These slice root or these side roots. Pick them off, make a good string this way just by passing it through my thumbnail. And my camera might die at any moment, so just be aware of that. But I'm going to stick this down in the bottom. This goes overhead, pushed in tightly, as tightly as I can. Better to do it with dry hands, or not dirty hands, but you know, And then from here, that can go up. And I can wrap the spruce root around relatively tightly, get all the yucky bark off of that. I don't need that on my knife. Hopefully I have enough. Well, I don't, but close. You get the idea of how this is going to be, and that's actually holding it really tight. So, well, pears aren't exactly known to be the hardest things in the world, but it works for making pear slices. I've also tried it with apples and, what do you call that? Oranges, I guess. Works just fine. So, yay. Alright, my camera's about to die, but so if it cuts off suddenly, I'm sorry, but this is the finished slate knife. The spruce root holds really well. I don't think these traditionally used many adhesives. Just the friction of the drying wood and the drying spruce roots keeps it in place very well. I put some oil on it, some vegetable oil, just so it protects the wood and everything, makes it a little bit more shiny, but yeah, there it is. A finished slate knife out of Welsh slate and Wisconsin spruce root and spruce. Can't make it all Welsh, I guess. But yeah, in the somewhat Inuit adjacent style, I'm pretty happy with it. Anyways, that's all for now. Heyo.